World Economic Forum co-founder Klaus Schwab is a global terrorist who must be held to account, according to Russian President Vladimir Putin. Speaking at the plenary session of the 20th meeting of the Valdai International Discussion Club in Sochi, Putin declared that globalists, including Schwab and his close advisors, are legitimate military targets because they have been shamelessly attempting to seize power in a globalist coup d'etat. According to Putin, Schwab's aggression directly contravenes international law and places him firmly in the crosshairs of a robust military response aimed at restoring global law and order, not to mention saving humanity from a future of slavery and spiritual impoverishment. For decades now, Schwab and his cronies have been swanning around the world on private jets and dining on fine meats, while warning the rest of us that we are soon to be imprisoned in 15-minute cities, where we will eat bugs and exist without basic human rights or dignity. But according to insiders, Schwab's halcyon days are behind him, and the heat is about to get cranked up to 11. Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, join the People's Voice Locals community to join our incredible community and support the channel, and visit collective.thepeoplesvoice.tv to claim a stake in the channel, earn profits, and have a say in what we do. Putin understands that globalists will not be satisfied until everything you love and celebrate has been destroyed. Your traditions, culture, family values, and religions are at stake. They will not stop until they break you, your spirit, and your history. If a man can be measured by his enemies, Putin seems to be doing something right. Far-left globalist billionaire George Soros has complained that Putin is thwarting the New World Order from fulfilling its agenda. High praise indeed. Meanwhile, the usually laconic Jacob Rothschild has also singled out Putin, complaining bitterly about the Russian president's determination to kick out the banking cartel out of Russia and dismantle the New World Order. Besides kicking out Soros and Rothschild, Putin has banned GMOs, fought cultural Marxism, and built over 15,000 churches. He has encouraged families to have more children and banned transgender propaganda from being taught to children. He even called out the WEF's normalization of paedophilia, declaring it the ultimate destruction of the family, designed to destroy all cultures and national identity.
Со своими собственными народами, разрушение семьи, культурной и национальной идентичности, извращение, издевательство над детьми вплоть до педофилии объявляются нормой их жизни.
The global elite despise Putin because he defies their social agenda while refusing to adopt their economy-wrecking policies. Between 1999 and 2014, Russia's GDP grew tenfold, and its world rank surged from 22nd to 8th. Russia's debt-to-GDP ratio fell from 100% in 1999 to 17% in 2016. Foreign reserves grew from virtually nothing to the 6th largest in the world. Gold reserves grew to become the 6th largest in the world as well. In other words, Putin made Russia great again. This is why his approval rating is still over 80%. But he's not finished yet. Putin has long promised to destroy the New World Order, and to do so he knows that he has to cut off the head of the snake. How's he going to do it? We've got more after this quick break. Trust. Klaus Schwab's WEF is a giant vampire squid wrapped around the Western world, relentlessly jamming its blood funnel into anything that it can use to enslave the human race. While the Western mainstream media continues to portray Russia as an authoritarian state, the WEF has completely infiltrated Western democracies, hollowing them out from the inside and quietly turning them into petty dictatorships. According to the parliament in WEF-infiltrated Canada, asking questions is now considered to be disinformation, and anybody asking questions about the WEF must be cancelled.
I had a constituent that wanted me to ask a question about outside interference to our democracy. Klaus Schwab is the head of the World Economic Forum, and he bragged how his subversive WEF, World Economic Forum, has, quoted, infiltrated governments around the world. He said that his organization had penetrated more than half of Canada's cabinet. And I was wondering, in the interest of transparency, could the member please name which cabinet ministers are on board with the WEF's agenda? My concern is the deputy.
Order. I know that the member was in a really good question there, but the audio is really bad and the video is really bad as well. And I apologize. I don't know if the member. Okay, let's try again. The honorable member for Timmins James Bay.
Mr. Speaker, that member was promoting open disinformation.
Did you catch that? Apparently asking questions can now be labelled as open disinformation. We really are living in Orwell's future, when war is peace, slavery is freedom, and asking questions is strictly verboten. Meanwhile, Putin has been dropping truth bombs in Russia that have gone completely unreported in the West because the mainstream media understand they can't counter his arguments with anything other than censorship, dishonest smear campaigns, and cancellation. Listen to Putin explain why Russia is great again. Every country in the world could learn from this speech. Every country in the world can be made great again so long as they respect their own sovereignty and reject the siren song of the New World Order.
Speaking of the greatness of Russia, you see, the greatness of Russia today means strengthening its sovereignty. Sovereignty is based on self-sufficiency in technology, in finance, in economy in general, in the area of defense and security. Here's what I would like to say. The people who for some reason started fighting against Russia after 1991. I mentioned this partly in my speech. I have no idea why they decided to do that. Was it their own hubris or arrogance? I have no other reason for that. I keep asking myself, why?
Unfortunately for Schwab and his plan to dismantle the sovereignty of every country on Earth, and his dystopian vision of microchips, open-air prisons and extreme depopulation, the last 2 years haven't gone to plan. In fact, they've been a disaster for the globalists. The people of the world are slowly but surely waking up to the truth about his evil agenda, and Schwab and his cronies are now terrified of being served justice. Investigators are currently compiling reams of evidence against key figures of the international global elite, with a view to holding them to account in upcoming Nuremberg 2.0 trials for crimes against humanity. But now that Putin's convictions have been made clear, it remains to be seen if Schwab will survive long enough to see a courtroom in The Hague, let alone a prison cell or a noose with his name on it. Here at The People's Voice, we are determined to continue exposing the elite, but we need your help. Visit collective.thepeoplesvoice.tv to own a piece of The People's Voice and have your say in what we do. Subscribe to the channel and join the People's Voice Locals community to join our amazing team and gain access to exclusive and uncensored content. I hope to see you there.